for the purpose conversation. So, you know how it rolls, you know how it goes. If you see me running across your live feed, go ahead and come on in, come on in, come on in to the room. Make sure once you get there and you get settled, you go ahead and you like and you share, share, share. Tonight's guest is absolutely amazing, and we are going to talk purpose. We are going to talk books. We are going to talk about a little some of everything. So go ahead, come on in, come on in, come on in the room. And when you get here, like and share. I want to say good evening, purpose friends. Oh my gosh, I hope you've had an absolutely amazing week. You guys have seen me pretty regular. I was on last Sunday. I was on this past Wednesday, because sometimes we need that middle of the week type of thing. And so I'm back tonight. So, as you know, I am totally just engrossed in this whole self-care September. And tonight is no different. If you notice, last Wednesday or this past Wednesday, I explained that one of the things that I've been doing is just, reading a good book, taking the time to just read. I mean, read for fun. Um, because I'm an author and mainly because I'm an editor, I'm constantly reading everything. So when I say read everything, of course I'm reading, the works of clients, but I'm still writing resumes. So I'm reading resume. I'm always reading, but I usually don't have the opportunity to just to dig into a good book. So one of my self-care September things has been to just read leisurely. It doesn't have to be a long book. It hasn't been a long books or might have been long books. I have dug into a couple of those magazines because I don't get the opportunity to just kind of dig in those and take a look and I would say just some window shopping type of things. Taking the time to read blogs and things that people that have written and just kind of check some stuff out. Reading is fundamental. It's so very important, and it's fun. And so anyway, in light of self-care September, I brought on an author tonight. Actually, this particular author was going to be featured during, you guys remember back in April, I believe, I had the whole book flexing series. And so I have a whole lineup of authors, and slowly but surely, I'm bringing them in one by one. But I decided that, that particular month I got like really, really sick, and I had to just kind of take a breather and take some time off. So I've been bringing in my author friends, one by one, and we'll probably close out the year. But anyway, tonight's guest, he is an author. Oh my gosh, let me put on my glasses because I want to just kind of give you guys just a quick his quick bio because anyway, first of all, he goes by the name of Jay Welsby. And if you guys are on Facebook and if you know him there on Facebook as Jerry Wells, and you know that he is all about his craft. Jay was raised Jay was first of all he was born there in Miami. So shout out to all of my Florida friends that are watching. This is one of your own. Jay Welsby, growing up, he thought that he would be a famous artist, somebody like Michelangelo, but that didn't plan out. His true gift was to write as unapologetically as the novelist Donald Goins. And if y'all are familiar with Donald Goins, y'all know ain't no shame in his game. And he writes. He's the writer of the streets. Anyway, Jay has won writing contests for Miami-Dade County Youth Fair Expo, and he has actually written 7 unpublished short stories that made a significant impact on his very first book. Now, being raised by a single mom in Overton, Miami, Jay had to use his gifts and talents to escape his city. Searching for a way out, he learned many trades. And so If you guys know, anyway, he learned many trades: barbering, towel setting, plastering, and cooking. And he seemed to be a pretty good cook. I've been looking at some of his videos and some of his pictures and stuff, and his food actually looks good. Anyway, his love for the arts stood out the most. Anything creative was absolutely right up Jay's alley. With a few years of studying psychology and an imagination out of this world, and I'm going to tell y'all that now, out of this world, Jay sought out to write his first book, Change. You'll never look at cheating the same way again. With the epidemic of so many people being unsatisfied. Oh, anyway, we're going to stop right there and we're going to bring on Jay Welsby. And I hope you guys are tagging in and you're coming in. And I have that he's a hustler. Yes. Y'all, if you would, let's do a drum roll, please. And welcome Jay Welsby. Woo!
How you doing, Juva, Alexander?
Hey,
So good to be on your show.
Jay. How are you?
I'm doing very well. Just got finished cooking, cleaning, doing all this domestic stuff. But when you're single, you got to take care of yourself.
That's right.
Well, magic queen come to see you.
You looking good for you have done all this daggone housework. You cleaned up nicely.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You are welcome. And welcome to the Purpose Conversation. Finally, daggone it, finally.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Finally.
You know what, Jay? I'm sitting up here. I'm getting texts from you, or either I'm getting people that are sending me texts and messages and stuff and saying, hey, you're like, I know this person that's on your show because I'm his barber, or I did his hair, or either people are sending me messages saying, Juva, I read a book that my barber wrote and your name was in the book. I didn't know that you knew Jay Welsby. Anyway.
Wow, that's dope.
Isn't that dope?
I had to give you credit. Man. All that advice you used to give me. So, as a matter of fact, you had your book out before mine. So I read your book before mine even came out. So I've been knowing about you. So I was glad to finally meet you.
Well, you know what? Sometimes you just meet people and there's like a connection. And a lot of people may not know, but you and I actually have a Facebook authors type of support group. It isn't real busy. It isn't real active. I don't even know if we've made it public. But if you are a writer, and when we say writers, we're talking about writers of anything. Just the arts, the creative. We have people that are in there that have, that are newbies that have yet to publish their book. They have unpublished work, or either they're published authors, they're songwriters, they're screenwriters, film writers. Oh my gosh, playwrights. So, and the name of our group is United We Write. So, and we just kind of offer basically support because we as authors, we need that support. Oh, Jay, thank you for accepting and coming on to the Purpose Conversation during Self-Care September. And I would like to ask, what have you been doing? Have you been exercising? Of course you've been exercising, but have you been exercising your self-care this month? Did you know that it was Self-Care September?
Oh yeah, I remember we had this talk, and self-care for me is taking care of my books, taking care of my baby. So that's pretty much all I have. Once those books take off the way I want them to, trust me, I'll be getting massages and getting on planes and traveling and doing a lot of stuff. But right now, my self-care is making sure I have those books right and marketing them correctly. So yeah, that's my self-care.
Absolutely. And you know what?
I'm born.
I chose the song during the promos, and if you guys have seen some of the promos, one of the songs that I chose was, I don't even know who is by, but I probably need to give them a credit, and I probably need to say right now, no song rights, guys. to Facebook that will take some stuff down. But anyway, it was I'm a hustler. I don't know who it's by, but I was like,
What's that style P? I'm not quite
I'm
sure.
not
Sound
sure.
like style P to me.
But I do know that I was like, this is right up. This is perfect for Jay because he has definitely been an absolute hustler. You know what? If you would, first of all, let me say hi again to all of my purpose friends here on Facebook, my purpose friends on YouTube, and my purpose friends there on what is it, TikTok. How could I forget TikTok? As a matter of fact, Jay, they're kind of loving you there on TikTok. I don't know if you on TikTok, but you're on TikTok on my page and they kind of feeling you. So I just thought I'd let you know.
I appreciate
Yeah,
that.
but I wanted to say hello to all of my purpose friends. Throughout our interview, and our conversation, rather, we'll stop and we'll do a couple of purpose breaks just to say hello. So, guys, you know how we roll. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, you have any suggestions, or what have you, be sure to just go ahead and type it in. We'll read them, we'll get to them. And, but anyway, Jay, in your own words, who is Arthur J. Welsby or who is Jerry Wells?
Well, I'll say Jerry Wells and Jay Wellsby is two different people. I want to say Jay Wellsby is the guy that wants like luxury type things. He's an author. He's big in fashion. Um, he's financially free. He's just that guy that's living lavish. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Jerry Wells is more like a man of the people. He's a barber. He socialized with anybody from the high end to a homeless person.
yeah,
Um, Jerry Wells is like very caring, just as much as Jay Wellsby, but they have two different purposes. Jay Wellsby wants to be a best-selling author, and Jerry Wells just want to be somebody that gives back to the community. So I have to deal with those two personalities every day.
I tell you, that's kind of, in your words, because you love to say it, that's kind of dope, though, Jay. That's kind of dope. And I just call you
Appreciate
Jay because I just call you Jay. And Jay
it.
to me is Jay and Jerry because I have the pleasure of knowing you personally, and I have the pleasure of knowing how this mind works. And I appreciate both Jay and Jerry. So, you know what? You kind of touched on this a little bit. And of course, because this is the purpose conversation, um, Jay, if you would, could you tell me what does purpose look like to you?
Purpose to me is coming from where I'm from and making something out of myself so I can give back to my community. Let them know that you can do something else out of drugs, check scamming, manipulating people, being deceitful, those things of those natures. Um, Even though you have white supremacy going on, you can still be a superior black person in your own right, your own regard. You can't live life scared, fearing what people think. I'm one person that grew up not being able to read and write.
Mm.
I self-taught myself.
Oh, wow.
Um, Going to jail over 20 times. Two-time convicted felon. Never stopped anything with me. I just kept getting trade after trade because I knew one day I was gonna stop selling weed, and eventually I did. And I actually found my purpose while I was in jail.
How
I
so?
knew, well, I basically knew when I got out that I didn't want to go back.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like 33 years old,
Yeah.
and when the young cats used to come up to me, they used to call me Unc. And I remember I used to look at them like, bitch, I'm like, shut up. I ain't no Unc. But I knew at that time that I didn't want to be no OG locked up. So I was like, you know what, you got to find something else to do.
Mm-hmm.
And one day I dove deep into inside myself and I say, well, I wasn't really good at reading and writing growing up, but I always had stories in my head.
Yeah.
And I would like to fight. those things that, could have limited me. I was just more or less like, hey man, go for it. Forget what people think. Forget what you think about yourself.
Yes.
You're a creative force. And I'm one person, man. I'm one person. I'm stubborn as hell. So somebody else can say, "No, bro, you can't do that." And I'm like, "Shit, I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna do it. Yes.
I'm gonna do it." Yeah.
I love your definition of purpose, and thank you for sharing that information with us and being so transparent. But yeah, I think if we have about with and I know so many people that have been incarcerated, and especially if you've been in there when you were young and you had the opportunity. I won't say you had the opportunity, but you were unfortunately there when you were just a little bit older, and you see things differently, and then it may be enough to be like, hey, no more. And sometimes that is what it takes. But I am just I so appreciate the drive that you have. If there is anything that I know, I was like, I've never seen anybody with a drive. And I meet Arthur. I edit books, so I know all kinds of authors. I've never met an author that has that drive like you do. I mean, and it is like incredible. I did the little video clip. I put together the video clip, and I just went and just grabbed a few pictures of you with some of
And
your
that's just a
your
few.
people out here. But I'm like, first of all, you make a connection anywhere, everywhere. You totally change the game when it comes to marketing your book. Hands down, hands down. I don't know any author that markets their book like you do. And big kudos to you and your books. Oh gosh,
Thank you so
you
much.
are welcome. You are welcome. I need to ask you something. So you wrote your very first book, Changed, and Change. You'll never think of cheating the same way again. First,
Now, change. You'll never look at cheating the
you'll
same way
never
again.
look at cheating the same way again. As a matter of
Yeah.
fact, I think I'm sure I have a picture here. And you know what? I probably need to go ahead and put on my glasses because I want us to talk about it for just a little bit. Now,
Okay.
so you guys would know, we're not going to dig into all of this book, but I just want to make sure that he actually has three. So we have Change. You'll never look at cheating the same way again. When did you write this? And I know that you wrote this after I did From the Pole to the Pulpit, and I almost have an anniversary coming up. But when did you write Changed?
Well, I started writing the story in 2013, and it was completed in 2017.
Okay,
Um. Oh yeah.
I was gonna ask, why change? Whew. And y'all, this book is so good. Um, why changed? Why this particular story? And first of all, this is a fiction, and it is so funny because I know people are always people hitting you up and thinking that you're Jacob Richardson, which is his main character. Oh
It's a good
gosh.
and bad thing.
Yeah. He's something else. Jacob is something else. But why this particular book? And then you didn't just do Change, but then you end up coming up and you end up hitting us then with, you were like, oh, forget that. You went then, and then you brought us a second book, Change, the consequences of cheating, right? That was
Yes.
two.
Change too.
Yes, change
Um,
two. And in change two, that's when you gave me the little shout out there, and I greatly appreciate it. I won't say little shout out. You gave me a shout out, period. And it was great.
you deserve it.
And then you just came out of the woodworks. I was like, wait a minute, what the heck is going on? And then it was like, bam, change three, the redemption of Jacob Richardson. All right. So Jay, let's go ahead and let's talk about it. Why this particular series? First of all, can you give us a little breakdown of what Change is all about? Or either I have like some little cheat sheets I can read if you want me to read your little notes here that you have on it.
No, I got you.
All right, go.
So first of all, when I first moved to Atlanta, I moved up here to write my books. At the time, I actually thought it was a book, but it ends up turning out to books because I was like, you know what? I can't just stop right here. Like this story is a real journey of a character that is trying to get itself together. Jacob Richardson is the main character, and he deals with a sex addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many people in the world that deals with sex addictions that don't even know it. So I wanted to actually do the research, whereas in you can actually understand what a sex disorder is. We have so many people out here that's getting in relationships and marriages and not understanding that they have triggers. And I wanted to bring Jacob Richardson to the forefront so people can understand people that deal with this particular disorder. Change is basically a story about Jacob Richardson going on this journey of trying to fix himself.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and along the way, he learns a lot about himself.
Yes.
Um, he's definitely what you call a womanizer. Um, Women are very attracted to him just for the simple fact that he's tall, dark, and handsome. He's definitely charismatic. He's very charming. So he has everything that pretty much a woman would want outside of having good character.
That's a very good way to put it.
Mhm.
Ladies, I'm telling you now, uh, Jacob Richardson is, oh gosh, I'm trying to think of somebody that I could even reference him to be. Anyway, Jacob is that dude, you know, that dude. That's all I can say. Jacob is that dude. He's that guy. And so and it's interesting to hear just this journey because we don't talk about people that have these particular disorders, and we don't necessarily read about it. And your genre, what would you consider this genre to be?
Well, technically, it's going to fall up on the first book. Technically, is going to fall up on the erotica, but that really wasn't the purpose of the book.
Right.
Me and my publisher at the time, who I would never mention to anybody, but anyway,
We
that's another
learn.
story for another
We
time.
learn.
But I explained, to that particular company that, it's not erotica, but at the same time, with the details of the sexual acts in the book, that it forced the book to become an erotica. The second book is more suspenseful, more of a thriller.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the last particular book is still suspense and thriller, but it actually becomes romantic.
Yes.
Um, I'm really feeling Jacob in part three. I felt him in all three books, all three. But
Yeah.
at my age now, and I'm more like calm and chilling, more relaxed. Looking to settle down. This Jacob here is. If somebody want to say who Jacob is to me, I say three part three.
Who?
Part three.
Part three. Okay.
Yeah, change three.
Got you.
Yeah, Jacob is more like me now.
He's more like you now. Well, that's good to know. Because I know that Jacob was definitely on a road to self discovery and trying to get himself together. And I don't want you to give the book away, but it is so good. Now, and you know what? Now, I've read all types of genres. And for those of you that that you read mature type of fiction, ladies, it is not it's like kind of that very first book, kind of like the almost like 50 shades of gray, but uh
Danish.
but it kind of, sort of, but it is
It make you go like this. Ooh, child.
that,
Ooh,
but it's not just that. You actually tell a story. You know what I mean? And 50 Shades of Grey, of
yeah.
course, they told a story too, but you actually tell a story that gets you hooked and make you want to read more. A lot of times when you and no shade to people that write, adult fiction, erotica itself, but it's like there's there's really no good plot to it, and it doesn't necessarily, it doesn't make you want to just kind of know more about this person, because you find yourself wanting to know more about this character. You want to find more about his wife and all the other people that are kind of that are there, all the characters in the book. So you actually get hooked on the story. And I love that you are such a
Thank you.
diverse writer, Jay. You're dope. You're pretty dope.
Appreciate it. Thank you,
You are
Juva.
welcome. You are
Appreciate it.
welcome.
Off the Juva.
So you would say that you could relate more to being, Jacob Richardson in part three. And I do want to let everybody know too. Now of course you'll tell us how we can get your books, but I did a little digging and I did see that all three are available, because I'm telling y'all now, once you get part one, you're gonna absolutely want to get part two, and you're definitely going to get part three. But you actually have them all available if they wanted to do it on an ebook, right? Yeah,
Yes,
I saw
correct.
that. And I actually have now. I have one and two. I have not gotten three. And you know me, I'm not an ebook type of girl. I love to actually get a book, and I love for you to say, "Hey, Juva, you're dope." And then you write it and you send it all to me. That's what I like. That's what I like to get. But anyway, I see that it's on Kindle, and I see that it's under Kindle Unlimited. So for those of you guys, y'all might want to check it out. Might check it out. So tell me a little bit more, um, as it relates to your particular writing journey, okay? Because you know that we probably have some aspiring writers out here. And if you had a piece of advice to give to an aspiring writer, and you do some other things too, and I want us to touch base on it, an aspiring writer, what is the one piece of advice that you would give to him or her? That's probably just writing
I would,
something, and they are writing, maybe they're just kind of, well, just a writer. What advice would you give to them?
I'll just tell them pay it forward. My writing journey started free. I would get on Facebook and write free stories. I did that possibly for 2 years.
Okay.
That's how I first built my following. I had no clue to what to do with Facebook when I first got it. I had been in the streets for so long that I missed the MySpace era. So
Okay.
I had got to Facebook due to the fact I was looking for a friend of mine. So I
Okay.
used to get on there and read people's statuses, but I was like, it's kind of boring to me. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna do something creative. And at that time, I was grossly unemployed. I was getting unemployment checks. A lot of people say Obama didn't do anything for the black people. He did something for me because he kept my unemployment going when I was dead ass broke.
Yeah.
So I would literally be on my couch, not really having anything to do when I was watching this movie called Stella Got a Groove Back.
Oh yeah.
And that was my first start of me writing on Facebook because my first story was Keisha Got a Groove Back.
Okay.
And yeah, I wrote that story. It was short. I built the following with that. Then I wrote another story after that. It was called Going to Visit Stacy because at that particular time I was going to see my brother in the feds, and that
Uh-huh.
was my first time walking inside a prison facility and seeing men visiting their wives or girlfriends. So I
Okay.
came up with a creative story called Going to Visit Stacy. I don't want to get too much in there because I might write that story.
Okay. Yeah,
But
yeah, I got you.
I wrote probably like 5 stories on Facebook before I even published my first book. like I said, I won two scholarships. Actually, one I received. It was a youth fair scholarship, writing contest. But one I received because I was able to enter, and the other one I wrote a paper for somebody and he won it. So actually, I won it twice, but I only got credit one time. So
Okay.
after a while, I just started believing in myself. Like I said, I couldn't read and write when I was younger, and here it is. I done wrote three thick books. So my journey was to, actually out there prove something not only to, people that probably doubted me, but to myself.
Mm-hmm.
So what I would advise anybody that want to write a book, number one, I hate to say it this way, but sit your ass down and write your book.
That's
Stop
right.
telling everybody you're going to write a book and you're not doing anything about it. Writing a book takes discipline,
Mm-hmm.
it takes a lot of sacrifice, and it takes a lot of drive. But
Yes.
at the end of the day, when they send that book in the mail, your demo book in the mail, and you get it, I can't say it's like having a child. I don't have children, so I don't know the feeling. But what I will say, when I got that baby in the mail and I looked at it, I said,
Yes.
"Oh my God, this is something I created." There's
Yes.
no better feeling than saying you created something and you started it and you finished it.
That's right.
It's no better feeling than that. So that'll be my advice to anybody. Pay it forward. Don't mind giving out books free. Don't mind getting on Facebook, maybe write you a little short story, see if people feeling it, following you. So that's it. Pay it forward.
I love that. And you know what? For the writers, for us now, because I said that you are a game changer, because like I said, I've never met an author quite that market quite like you. And people are always asking you, how do you sell so many books? How do you sell so many books? So if you would, and I know that you and I chat and we talk, so I know that you have some big things kind of in the works. But if you would, if you could share with us your marketing tips, what have you done that's different, that what have you done that's different? Like I said, I posted just several pictures, but I probably could you have shoot, I lost
Thousands,
count of how many
thousands, I
pictures you
have
took.
thousands of pictures.
So tell me,
Thousands.
how have you sold so many books?
Number one, because I'm genuine. I'm a real person.
Yes.
Nothing fake about me. When I'm down, I'm down. When I'm happy, I'm happy. When I'm not, I'm not. I'm genuine. When I talk to people, I'm genuine.
Yep.
So with that being said, my background in selling weed definitely helped me.
Mm.
One of the best things could ever happen to me is that I always like my own money. So whatever that means to me is what I got to do. So
Mm-hmm.
while other people be out here, playing cute, I don't have time to be cute, even though people say I'm cute, but I don't have time to be cute. So with that being said, I think what initially happened, and I always said, remember I told you this, God owes me. I told you that before. I think
Yeah,
I
I
wrote it
remember
on
you said
Facebook, and
that.
you said, "What you mean by that?" And this and that.
Yes.
And what I meant by that is because I can't read and write.
And
So I
that's just
sat there and I
incredible.
worked hard. So I
Yeah.
think to this point now, he done sat there and watched me get through that struggle. And he's like, man, I owe you.
Mm.
So every time you get out there and hustle, I'm gonna make sure you sell a book
Yeah.
because you ain't give up. You ain't let what school system said about you, what people thought about you stop you.
That's right.
So I just sell books because it's just natural. It feels natural. Like when I go up to somebody like, hey, how you doing? Do you like to read? It's natural. It don't feel like I'm doing something unnatural. And they general answer is yes or no, because that's what my mama taught me growing up. She was like, a person has a yes or no answer.
That's right.
But that's my attitude when I go to people. I'm like, they gonna say no or yes. What does it bother me?
And you've sold a lot of books though. The mama was right. Yeah. And you I mean, it's like incredible. I'm like, Jay goes out to dinner, he goes to breakfast, he goes to work, he sells a book. You were even doing Uber or Lyft or and you were selling books. I just think that that's just so incredible. And you truly changed the game. And I love the fact that you said, because you're genuine, and that you are genuine. There ain't a thing that's fake about you. And that's so refreshing. It's refreshing, and it is yeah. But and then to know that you struggled with um of reading, you struggled with reading and just reading, and that you've written not one, not two, but three amazing pieces of work, and even more than that, because you have some work that's unpublished that hopefully you're going to go ahead and do some stuff with that. So yeah, hats off to you. I'm wow, I'm definitely a fan, and I appreciate you giving us those
I'm a
nuggets
fan
because
of yours too.
yeah, but you sell a lot of books, and I know it seemed like you're being almost modest about it, but you sell a lot of books, and I've watched you, and I do see the hustle. I do see the hustle, and yeah, I wish that I had it, and I do know that you will push too. The advice that you gave to aspiring writers, I know you even you will even tell that to some veteran writers. Um, I can't tell you how many times you sit up there, hey Juva, what the heck you doing? What's going on with no residue? What's going on with where you at? So how much more you got to go? And and so just to have somebody to really truly get you and push you, I've had people to push me, but not like where I'm coming from, and you understand how you can also get stuck. So I always appreciate that. And you know what, Jay? I think maybe it's natural for you to just kind of just to connect with people, because this is what you do. I also understand that you are a motivational speaker, correct?
I am. I'm just looking for more of a platform. I think the pandemic pretty much kind of like slowed that process down, but I'm looking to get back into it. I love motivating people. I motivate them through Facebook right now, but I prefer to talk in front of a large audience and tell them my story, and hopefully they be inspired once they walk away because I come from nothing.
Yeah, yeah.
Come
Uh,
from nothing.
as one of my peers, Monica Pearson. Shout out to Monica. She says, I got it out the mud. When you got it out the mud, you know, it hits a little differently. And so yeah, and so I know that you're very inspiring. There are probably so many young people that came from where you came from that are watching you. And I wrote a chapter, called Who's Watching You. And that's one thing that God just kind of showed me, that no matter what, somebody's always watching, somebody's always,
Whether good or bad,
yeah, yeah.
they want
Yep, good or
good or
bad,
bad.
they're always watching. And so for you to be an influence. So when your platform, when you normally speak to people, is it typically maybe some younger people? Because I did see where you won a couple of writing awards and it was youth based. So do you like that particular age range? Is that who you think you're called to speak to and to encourage and motivate? Or is there an
I
area?
feel like I'm called to talk to everybody. I,
Okay.
I don't have no particular group. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? I'm getting to the point as I get older, I'm starting to understand that, I deal with individuals instead of color, race, age, gender, sexuality, none of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Everybody needs help.
That's right.
Alina has taught me how to deal with everybody. So if I can talk to some elementary students, that's fine. If I can talk to some middle school students, that's fine. High school, college, people that dropped out, people in the streets.
Yeah,
It just doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like my story counts for everybody.
that's
I
right.
don't discriminate when it comes to motivation.
Right.
Definitely being 45 years old, still being able to do 20 pull-ups and
Oh yeah,
25
you be
push-ups.
you. Oh yeah, yeah. You be up there in the. Well, have you been in the gym as of late? Because I remember you were. I know you have a love for basketball. That's your thing. But yeah, I know that you used to hit the gym kind of hard. Are you back in the gym yet?
I stay in the gym. Like even during the pandemic when the gyms was closed, I did something. Whether it was push ups, going up Stone Mountain. I did a lot of Stone Mountain
Yeah,
during
you
that
did a
period.
lot of Stone Mountain stuff.
So my biggest thing is like just keeping myself up. Um, when I finally meet my wife, I want to look good for her.
There you go.
You know
There
what I'm
you go,
saying?
Jay.
I always want to take care of myself because I might get in a scuffle. So I got to be able to handle my. Oh, I look at training or personal fitness as something personal, but I also look at it as something you're doing for somebody else that you with.
Yeah. And so
So
so ladies, so y'all know uh Arthur J. Welsby, he is a single guy. Um Jerry Wells is a single man, and he is all into fitness, and I've seen him, witness him. There are three things that he normally asks God for every single day. He asks God to, let me put it out there. Dear God, can I please go ahead and have $1 million? And can I have some really great coffee? And God, can I have a wife? Can she work out? Can she be smart? Can she motivate and encourage me? Can she be beautiful? Can she her list
I
has
get
grown.
I, I get so much slack because of that
Oh, I
stuff.
know.
I get inbox between my Facebook stories that I just started posting with I guess the women,
Yeah, you be showing out a
and,
little bit, but that's your
and then
business.
my
You
million
single, you can
dollar
do that.
and then my $1 million and coffee and my wife. So it's like a contradiction when you go to my stories compared to what I write in the
It
morning.
sure, yeah, yes, it is. You showing
But
out.
but but what's so interesting is what people are not getting is that I'm creative.
Yes, you are. You're
So
very creative.
I know what I need to do to get people like for example, this us. So I'm talking to you straight up and down. If I just post my first picture of my book in my stories,
Yeah,
I might get 10 people to view that,
yeah,
maybe 20 or 30. But if I put a woman with a nice body on my first story,
yes,
that's 400 to 1,000 people that went on that story
yeah,
and they follow it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
what it leads back to every time, either me working out, my books, or something.
Right.
So it's a method to the madness.
Yeah, you are
So
a different in marketing guru. You need to write a whole. I, I know that you and I have personally talked about publishing and things like that, and some stuff, some ideas that you have going on. And I tell you, I am excited to learn about more of the business end that you plan to do. Because if you could teach people to market the way you do, you think outside of the box big time. Now, you see that I am wearing your tee. You are the owner of the message tees. I don't know if anybody can see see the tee, but anyway, there's like this lion thing here.
mm.
But what's really cool is on the back. I don't know if I can get it in the camera. I don't know if you can see it, but it's a message, and the message is like right there on your shoulder blade, and it says the message. This particular shirt says, "I don't know. God made us both. So why are you jealous of me?"
I can tell you exactly what it said. It said God made us. Why are you jealous of me?
That's right. God made us. So why are you jealous of me? And it's so funny because you know, your messages on your shirts are always what people probably really think. Give us some other messages that I've seen on some of your shirts.
Well, my most controversial one is the only thing I want negative in my life is an HIV test.
That's right. And that's the only daggone negative thing I ever want. Wow. Wow. Yeah.
Um, and I think I have another one that says I'm on a whole nother level. You can't get close to me even if you were standing next to me.
Mm. and it's what people think, but they may not necessarily say, and or they don't think, and it goes back to your creativity. So big ups to you in the message teas, and I hope that you expand them even more. Maybe you could put one together specifically geared for purpose. And and dedicated that one to me. Dedicate that line. I'll go ahead and I'll buy in bulk and have them at my book tables. So yeah, it is awesome to see your journey. And also, and speaking of, you mentioned that you worked out and you went to Stone Mountain. I just had to let the people know that y'all, he was selling books down there on Stone Mountain too.
Everywhere I go,
Oh my gosh, he sells books
everywhere I go.
everywhere.
I went on a date one time, Juva. I promise you, I was on my date. I had my books right there,
You
my book.
sold books on the date, Jay.
Damn right.
Oh
You
gosh.
damn right.
I can see you though. I can see it. Okay, you also have another trade that you do. You are an actual barber. And I saw a picture. You actually, it was someone that I wanted you to meet and to connect with. And I was like, what daggone? Him and Rick, they done already connected and took a picture. He's there at the barber shop. He ain't got no hair on his head. So I don't but anyway, he was there at the barber shop. He had taken a picture. You selling books in the barber shop too. But you are a really great artist. Listen, barber, but an artist too. Just amazing, amazing. So
Yeah, I'm what you call an indigo child.
yeah, yeah, I could definitely tell because you are in your own lane there, and you guys are very. And I think I definitely have one that's definitely an indigo as well, indigo child. I definitely see that. I definitely see, and he happens to be a Leo too, just like you. So that's go figure.
He's dope. He's dope.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. Okay, Jay, if you could give me, let me know who inspires you
As far as like a author or just
as an
people in general.
author or as a speaker, any of the things that you do. Because I always think that, somebody that's doing what it is that you do or something, who do you look up to? Who's like a mentor?
Who I look up to is J.K. Rowling,
Okay.
the author of Harry Potter,
Yes.
a billionaire author.
Yes.
But when I be looking at my goals, I don't particularly look at color. I look at where you at. And to sit there and say she went from, I think I looked up her bio. I think she had just went through a divorce or something, and she was just had a child. I think she would go to a little coffee shop and she started writing Harry Potter. And
Mm-hmm.
lo and behold, years later, she's a billionaire author. So I'm definitely inspired by her. I definitely like John Grissom. Big fan of his work. Um, Definitely a fan of Zane. I used to read a few of her excerpts as I was writing. Change the first one just to understand a little bit of how to explain a sexual scene.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Zane is the
Definitely,
truth, right?
she is.
Yeah.
I think his name is Omar Tyree. I think that's his name.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I read one of his book. It's called The Do Right Man. I really like that story. Um, who else? His name is Jerome Dickey. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
I just discovered him. Matter of fact, after he died, which was unfortunate for me that I just found out about him. But I actually went back on his work and listened to a couple of audibles with him, and the way he described things was impeccable.
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Very, very, very descriptive writer.
very, yeah, very
Very
detailed,
descriptive.
very clean writing. I actually watched something on him where he was talking about how he became, pretty much a best-selling author. He was saying that he was a smart dude though. He's very educated, had a great job. He ended up quitting the job to become an author, and he was actually broke. He borrowed money to pay his rent. to pay his car notes, stuff like that. But he promised the people that he borrowed the money from, he said, "I'm gonna be able to pay you all back." And through his writing, he was able to do that. So I'm very proud to say that I finally read or listened to some of his work. Definitely Alex Haley. Um, the autobiography of Malcolm X. I read that book like 3 times. So yeah, people like that. TD Jakes, if you want to ask about motivation. Eric Thomas, definitely. I think his name
Oh, you got
Tony.
all the good ones.
Yeah, I mean, I wake up pretty much every morning listening to something motivational because it's not easy being an author. It's not easy being an entrepreneur.
Yes,
I have my down times too. I have times when things are not great or good, and it's like I need something to keep me going.
that's
So
right.
those are my go tos.
Love it. Love it. Wow. And I guess if a fun fact, just give us something fun, something that people will, I guess people, they may not know you, but something that they would be surprised to know about you.
That is funny. Um,
Maybe not funny, just a fun fact or maybe an interesting fact.
I listen to 80s rock and roll sometimes.
Okay. I would not picture you being a rock and roll guy.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
definitely a big Phil Collins fan.
Okay.
Um, I listen to a lot of that 80s rock and roll because at one point, it wasn't just rap for like black people.
Yeah.
It was once upon a time when there was so many genres of music where then we had our R&B, we had our acoustic music, we had our um, neo soul artists. We just had so many varieties when I was growing up. And then I used to hang around different cultures when I was growing up. So it wasn't just blackity black with me. I used to have a white friend. So I used to be with his daddy. And he would play all this 60s damn rock and roll music. But I was in the car. So it's not like I'm going to tell him, bro, like,
That's
change
right.
that.
Tell you that,
So
turn the
I
music
got
on.
introduced to so much different music to the point now is like, I have my little earphones at work sometimes cutting hair and when I'm tired of listening to all that crazy ass rap music that's being playing, I'll just like, you know what, you put some little 80s white boy music on. I'll play
So
that
you
while I
zone
take
out.
care. Hey, fun fact.
I love it. I love it. Okay. And I guess lastly, favorite quote. I'm a words girl, so that's like one of my go-tos.
Favorite folk. Wow. I did see that. I think it stands for something of well stand for something or fall for anything. I think that's how you quote it from I think
If
Martin
you
Luther
don't stand
King.
for something, you'll fall for
Yeah, fall
anything.
for anything. That's one of my favorite quotes. Definitely Jesus. Is it one or do I? Can I say one more?
You can say one more. Go ahead.
Okay. He who is without sin cast the first stone. Favorite quote. Favorite line. It made everybody human.
That's
Everybody's
right.
human.
That's right. That's right.
So people that be
Absolutely.
doing this, for the people that be doing this all the time, that finger pointing back at you.
That's right. That is you're absolutely right. Absolutely. I absolutely love that. Jay, this has been really, really, really fun. Are there any shout outs?
Definitely, I want to give one to you, Juva.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate you answering the phone at times when I just need somebody to talk to. Um, it's difficult being an author,
Yeah,
and there's not a lot of people that I can relate to.
right.
So when I reach out to a fellow author and she answers the phone, man, it means the world to me. I would like to give a shout out to Ken Bivens as well. He's the one that helps me format my books.
Okay.
He's an author as well. Very interesting guy. I would like to give a shout out to my artist friend that creates my. Well, he didn't create. They didn't create the first one, but my author friend's name is Ben Sean Brown. He created
The
the
covers?
cover. I told him exactly what I wanted, and he made it come true.
Yes.
So I'm happy for that. I would like to shout out my main man on the front. His name is Linton. That's his name. He got a funny name, Linton. That's his name. I've been cutting his hair for about 4 years,
And
and I
Linton got
remember I
the
used to look
cover
at
as
him.
Jacob.
Yeah, well, so when he used to come in the barbershop, I'd be like, man, bro, you are Jacob. So he has this walk about himself. He's very, very confident, man. This has this whole swag about himself, and I was like, you remind me of Jacob. So I went to him and asked him would he do the cover for the book, and he did it.
That oh
Shout out to my photographer. His name is Rich. I would like to thank him for taking the picture. The back. I had this young lady. Matter of fact, she stays in my building, and I asked her at the last minute would she take this picture for me on the back. Her name is Lala, and I appreciate that. So I pretty much had put all these designs in my head, and these people brought it to fruition.
yes.
So, and shout out to Demetrius. He's my author friend in Miami. He
Yes.
writes a lot of street lit, and
Neat.
hey, I rock with him. Siobhan, this girl here sells like somewhere close to 9,000, no, to 18,000. She do 18 to $9,000 a month on Kindle Unlimited reads.
Yes.
I talk to her
Yes.
all the time. I mean, she's doing her thing. She done bought a house, got 6 kids, and she's able to afford to take care of all the
And
school
that's all that
programs
she
through
does.
writing.
Right.
Um, yeah, so my mom, my dad in heaven, the whole author society, black authors, everybody that done bought a book from me. Well, don't let me keep starting because I can go on. It's
You're
so many
all
people I
good.
appreciate it. And
Well,
definitely God. Thank you.
that's right.
Appreciate it. You're number
That's
one.
right. That's right. Well, how can we find you? How can we connect with you? And how can we find your work?
Um, just go to my website, which is, if you want an autograph copy, go to my website. It's www.jay Welsby Welsby author. Okay, I'll just spell author. Do I gotta spell it? I'm spelling it. You know, I never
AUTHOR.
know how to spell it. AUTHOR.com. And I'll send you an autograph copy. You can also go on to Amazon, and all you have to do is put in my pseudonym or author name, which is Jay Welsby, and all three of my books should pop up. You have it on ebook as well as paperback. And I'm praying to God sooner or later I can get it on Audible for you all that don't have time to read
That would
or
be
can't
good.
read.
That would be good. That would be good. Thank you so much for coming on to the Purpose Conversation. I think we've had a wonderful conversation. It's awesome to get to know more of you. And one of the things that I often tell people here on the show is that, we could talk about purpose, but I think I love it when I have the opportunity to have guests on because people have the opportunity to see what purpose looks like, you know, and for people, my guests that just overcame an obstacle, that stuck with it, that said, hey, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to start this business, I'm going to do this thing. And for you to be an absolute game changer when it comes to being an indie author, an independent author, I just you inspire me, and I just thank you so much. I'm so glad that we are in connection. And anyway, I thank you so much for taking the time to come and speak with us. Purpose friends, I see you guys. Thank you guys for always tuning in. Go ahead and you can feel free to ask questions or leave information. Jay and I will check the show notes, and I'll go in and I'll put in your information too. But thank you guys so much. I will be back on Wednesday. You guys know that Day Smith, we were supposed to meet up last week and it was rescheduled where she's going to be in the building this coming Thursday. So, we're going to end out the September self love the September self care series, and here is the Purpose Conversation. But Jay, thank you so much. Thank you, Purpose friends. You guys have an absolutely phenomenal week, and as always, I want you to continue to seek, discover, and to pursue your purpose. Have a good night, y'all.